Good morning, good morning, good morning. I want to sound enthusiastic today because we're going to maintain our enthusiasm in spite of what's going on around us. We are pleased thus far where we are, how we have maintained. In fact, we were just speaking among ourselves about Liberty County and its rates. Certainly they're not perfect. They're not at ground zero, but they're much better than some other places, and we think that it's because of the compliance of the citizens that have kept the rates where they are. So we want to applaud you right away for that. So let's call this a happy day as we celebrate our present status. Now that doesn't mean that we can let our guards down. We're not saying that, but in fact, we want you to maintain where you are. In fact, as we prepare to enter the holiday season, the advice has been that we maintain and that if we can, let's become more compliant even, especially when it comes to large gatherings. So I hope you've heard those comments from CDC, and so you're also hearing it from us as we prepare for the holiday season. And anytime the large gatherings, let's try to do those outside when possible and limit those when possible too. So that's our opening statement to you, but we cannot say enough about how we appreciate your comments. On the street, I hear from you, say that we're doing well. You appreciate our efforts. So thank you so much for encouraging us, because during this period of coronavirus fatigue, we also need encouragement. So thank you for encouraging us as we walk this walk together. At this time, I will yield to the Honorable Larry Baker, Mayor of the City of Walthourville. Please welcome him.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Minister Brown, County Manager, Assistant, Mr. Mayor from the City of Hinesville. Good morning to the City of Walthourville. The City of Walthourville is still moving with precautions. We're wearing our masks and we were watching our distance and washing our hands. The City of Walthourville asks you to continue to pay your bill online or use the drive-through, because we haven't opened the doors back up just yet. Moving with caution. The City of Walthourville watched the City of Hinesville last week when they did their festival, and we're going to do a small festival for our trick-or-treat, and it's called a Spooktacular. We're going to have a hayride, petting zoo. The petting zoo would come from the Dawsons down the street, and we are asking everyone to please watch your distance, wear your mask, and wash your hands. We also will be having hot dogs that we're given, sponsored by the Walthourville Meat Market. And then we added something, and that was masks with the mayor. So we'll take some photo shoots, and we ask you, ladies and gentlemen, please continue. We're not out of the woods yet. We have come a long way, but we got a long way to go. So at this time, I'd like to yield to the mayor of the City of Hinesville, Mr. Allen Brown. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. And Mr. Donald Levitt. Team Liberty.
Team Liberty.
I hope we don't bore y'all. We kind of enjoy doing this, and we like to think we give you some good information from time to time. So good morning to everyone. As of this morning, Liberty County had 1,214 confirmed cases with 2 overnight. That number's getting to be more prevalent, 1 or 2 or 3, real low numbers compared to where we have been at times. So keep up what you're doing. That brings our count since last time to 24, an increase of over, that count of 24 brings us to 60 confirmed cases in the last 2 weeks. And if you do the math, that's not a bad number in today's world. Not much has changed in recent weeks in terms of messaging and information, but it is important to note that the governor has reissued his executive orders, so now they won't expire on October 31st. So just keep watching that, and we'll tell you when it changes. I do want to commend the residents of Hinesville and Liberty County, like the others have, for dedicating to keep themselves safe and their families and neighbors safe over the last few weeks. If you take a look at the data from the area over the last few weeks, we've done an excellent job of holding the line on new infections and working to gradually decrease the number of new infections in our area. Our new infection rates remained on a downward trend since the end of September, and we hope that we will continue to trend that way in the coming weeks. I ask you to continue doing, as we always say, what you're doing now. Distance, wash your hands, and what's the other one? Be safe anyway. Wear your mask. I ask you to follow the guidelines laid out by the governor and that is those same things that I just mentioned. If you're in need of a test, you can still get tested by Diversity. They do it on Tuesday and Thursdays for the first 150 visitors at James Brown Park between 9 and 11. You can also go through the Department of Public Health on Wednesdays from 8 a.m. to noon in Liberty County in their office or their department. Just quickly to remind you that trick-or-treating in the city of Hinesville is set for 6 to 8 on Saturday the 31st, Halloween Day. In order to maintain as safe an environment as possible for all candy handlers and candy grabbers, we ask you to please follow these safety tips. Wash your hands in between groups, visiting your home, or carry hand sanitizer and use it between houses if you're trick-or-treating. Wear a mask whether you are handing out or receiving candy to minimize contact with doorbells, doors, and the like, and to keep as much distance between people on the night of considering handing out candy, and to even consider handing out candy from your porch or driveway. But as I said last week or 2 weeks ago, most importantly, if you're sick, stay home and keep your candy to yourself if you're at home. By now, you have probably seen our video of safety tips and information posted on social media platforms. If not, I encourage you to check it out and share it with your families and friends and neighbors so we can all have a safe Halloween for our children. The summary quickly is the next and final Halloween drive-through event is the Scarecrow Stroll, which will be on Friday, October 30th. Those are hosted by the HDDA, and information about that can be found on our Facebook page and on the city's website. In closing, as always, I remind you, I messed it up a minute ago, wear your mask, wash your hands, and watch your distance. Thank you, and stay safe, Hinesville and Liberty County. Joey Brown.
Thanks, Mayor. It's an honor to be here again to update you, and we do appreciate the opportunity to do that. The numbers have moved a little bit on the statistical data I mentioned, where you can look at that data at the Coastal District Health site at covid19.gachd.org to look at these stats. The Liberty Daily average is up just a little bit from 4.14 to 6.14, average of 2, as you've heard before. The daily case rate per 100,000 is up just a tad too, from 7.8 to 9.9, and the daily transmission index, which a lot is geared around, including some of the governor's orders reference that, is actually down from 130.8 to 105, which is good. Remember, anything over 100 is deemed not to be safe, so we're getting close down there, which is great. Again, visit that site. There's a lot of good information on there for the Coastal Health District and by counties in our district. We do have a drive-through flu clinic that's scheduled at James Brown Park on December the 8th, 2020, and again on January 12th, 2021. Actually, it's kind of hard to say that. That information and the times are on that DPH website also, if you'll go and check those out. Remember, everything that you're hearing nationwide and again locally gears around, if you're able and you've never taken that flu vaccine, is probably a good year to do it. The last thing that you want to happen is to deal with these two types of flus at the same time. Our general offices have no change. We still are practicing CDC guidelines and some stuff under governor's orders, so masking is required and temperature checks are being performed. Chief Justice Harold Melton did extend the judicial state of emergency now until November the 9th, 2020. It means there will continue to be no jury trials and no grand jury proceedings at this time. I mentioned last time, though, that the Atlanta Judicial Circuit had been ordered, as all circuits had, to submit a plan to the Chief Justice for starting those court procedures back up. That plan has been developed, has been submitted. Probably sometime after November judicial order expires, those plans that have been submitted will be looked at, hopefully checked, and at least grand jury proceedings may start back. Recreation, no change since last time. Some facilities are still available if they're outdoor venues, but they do require a reservation. You can contact the Recreation Department at 912-876-5359 to discuss those specific requirements of reserving those facilities. Commission meetings are still really closed to the public unless you have a matter on the agenda. There is a process for doing that. You can contact our office at 912-876-2164 to speak to someone about doing that. So, but they are online. They are live through Facebook, and we hope that you'll watch those. It's anticipated that even after we work through this COVID environment we're in, that service is still going to be available for those of you that want to watch those sessions occur. Last thing I'll mention is voting, which is underway, as you know. Gave you all those specifics last time. You can request an absentee ballot really by October 30th, and you've got to return those by November 3rd at 7 p.m. I mentioned there was a drop box, same location next to Bradwell Park at the main office that was available to receive those absentee ballots. There's also been a second one now that's been established and certified, and that's at the Midway City Hall. So now there's 2 locations for you to take advantage of that. Would encourage you to try to vote early. Please be patient. There are some extra protocols, obviously, that you have to go through for CDC guidelines and for checking. So we appreciate your patience and your diligence in doing that. But whatever you do, remember, please to go vote. Our Halloween material for the unincorporated area is on our website at libertycountyga.com. Please go look at those. It offers some tips and suggestions, as the city's does, on some Halloween tips and things to be safe. I just, I guess in closing say, good job. Things are becoming somewhat steady. We're going to enter the toughest time now where a vaccine hasn't been approved and is not yet available. We're entering into that typical flu season, as we all know. So people are getting back together. They're going to be internal, indoor type things that are going on. There's more of a chance of spread there. Please just be careful. Please wear these masks. And I think I would encourage the businesses too to encourage people to mask inside their facilities because they are close. Personally, a lot of people feel more comfortable visiting those facilities where masks are being worn. So good job. Let's keep up the teamwork, and we look forward to talking to you in 2 weeks.
I need to back up a little bit. I didn't give you the time and the place for the spooktacular for the city of Walthamville. It will be October 31st, 5 to 8 p.m. on Busby Road, right there in front of City Hall. See you there. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Team Liberty. Once again, I want to end on a high note. Listen, what we're seeing and hearing is that there's some new hot spots in the country, and what's being predicted for those places, they may have to endure a total shutdown again. And we don't want to do that in Liberty County. We don't want to do it in Liberty County. So if you just maintain what you've done or improve what you've done, we can avoid that so that we can enjoy some normalcy in our lifestyle. So let's not try to have it where we have to do a total shutdown again. So thank you so much. We appreciate these gentlemen for their presentations, and even those who aren't here have your care and concern at hand on their minds and their hearts. I do want to say this, Mr. Brown mentioned the voting. As political officials, we cannot promote or we cannot say vote for a certain issue, but I do want you to get an item on the ballot. It's the very last amendment. It's called e-commerce, and what that e-commerce would do is bring industry to Liberty County and make us more competitive with our neighbors that has that e-commerce already. So I just ask you to consider the very last amendment on the, consider them all, but certainly consider the very last amendment on the ballot. If you would, please, ma'am, please. So if you've got any questions, you can give one of us a call and we help to explain it further to you. So we'll end with what we always have ended with, the 3 W's, wash your hands, wear your mask, and watch your distance. Until then, see you in 2 weeks. Have a good one.